How can you control Chrome using PHP? It's a skill I've worked for years to master. I use these techniques to build web crawlers professionally all the time. In this video, I'm going to show a quick, condensed version that you can use today. We'll go over how to set up a Selenium instance, as well as how to go to a page. If you stick around to the end, I'll show you a technique to extract all of the text from the page. This even includes the hard-to-get-to text created with JavaScript. To begin with, you'll need Selenium Grid installed and running on a machine. If you don't already have this, we have a video in the description on how to set up Selenium Grid on your own VPS. You'll need the CLI extension for PHP installed on your computer, since using the web version of PHP can time out before your request is done. If you don't already have Composer installed, you can download it with this command. The main library we will be using here is PHP WebDriver. This allows us to connect via our PHP script to Selenium in order to control a Chrome browser. To require it, run composer require php-webdriver/webdriver in your terminal. This will put the library in the vendor folder so that we can use it with our PHP script. To begin our code, we'll want to create a file for our script. I'll be using script.php here. We need to add our starting PHP directive to the top of the script. Next, we'll need some use lines. Here's what we'll be adding. We need the Chrome options to set some options for our Chrome browser. The desired capabilities allows us to send our options to Selenium for the browser. Remote WebDriver is the main class that creates our connection variable that we will be using to control our web browser. WebDriver by will allow us to use XPaths to access elements on the web pages we download. Finally, WebDriver expected condition allows us to look for the elements on the page in the WebDriver by classes. We also need to include our libraries that we installed with Composer. We do that with a require line. Next, we're going to define some settings. We're going to create a Selenium host variable that will set our Selenium host. This will usually be the IP address of your Selenium Grid server, :4444, or localhost :4444 if you have Selenium Grid installed on your local machine. This is then followed by the path /wd/hub. We're going to create a window size variable that will set the size of our Chromium browser window. This is just the desired X size, the desired Y size. We're going to create a user agent variable next that will be sent in place of the default Chromium user agent. This can be changed to whatever you'd like. We're going to want to define the maximum number of milliseconds our connection to Selenium should take. I use a default of around 10 seconds. We're also going to want to define the maximum number of milliseconds our script can run. I use 60 seconds for shorter scripts. First, we need to create an array with our Chromium arguments. These are the same as the command line arguments provided here. The individual arguments all start with a --, just like if you were to use them on the command line. We start by defining an args array variable. Next, we'll add in our window size. This is set with the --, window size argument. We'll finally add in our user agent. This is set with the --, user-agent argument. Now, we're going to set up the options for our Chrome browser. To start, we're going to want to create a new Chrome options object. We're going to want to disable W3C mode. This can cause some errors in my experience, so I recommend disabling it. Next, we're going to want to add our Chromium arguments to our Chrome options variable. We need to set our desired Selenium capabilities. We start this by adding a desired capabilities Chrome object. Next, we set our Chrome options variable as our desired Chrome capabilities. At this point, we can create our Selenium instance. This will be a remote WebDriver object. We will send our host the desired capabilities, the connection timeout, and the completion timeout as parameters. Now that we have our driver variable configured, we are ready to actually go to a web page using our Chrome browser. We'll set our URL variable to the URL we want to go to. For this tutorial, we'll be using the Potent Pages homepage, but you can use whatever URL you'd like. To actually navigate to the web page, we'll use the navigate method and set a to URL method as well. This line should look something like this. With our page loaded, we can run JavaScript on our page. We can simply run the following command where the script variable contains our script. Whatever our script returns will be stored in the value variable. For example, we can save the following script into a separate file. In this case, getPageText.js. Next, on our PHP script, we will load this file into the script variable here. We can then run this script using the executeScript method. Finally, we can show that text with a quick echo command. At the end of the script, we'll need to add a quit call to end the session. If we don't, the browser will remain open for as long as specified by the Selenium completion timeout variable. To avoid this, we run the following command. Running this script will display all of the visible text on the page, including any text generated with JavaScript. At this point, you should have a working PHP script that downloads a page and extracts the visible text for you to use. All of the code for this will be on our webpage, linked in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.